Okay, so let's visualising it straight away. We can see we got some symmetry going on here. We've got two black notes, and they're on the right side of group 1s and 2s, right? So that's the first thing we're going to remember of this. We're going to remember these black notes here. And then we just got 3 white notes to remember, okay? So it's going to be C, F, and G, right? F, G, F, G, C. So we can say, all right, it's the left white notes. It's the left white notes, right? So, on group 2, we play the two white notes there in the 1. And again, we don't play the left notes on the white notes on the right side of the B flat because we're flattening white notes to get to the black notes. So whenever you are going around in the flats and we're playing the black notes, it's good to remember when we hit those black notes, we're not in a major key that we're not playing this note. We're in a flat key where we don't play the notes on the right. Now that's a very useful in real time memory association you can make because you can, when you're playing and mucking around. So I'm going to stick to the black notes, right? I'm just going to ignore this note, and then I know I'm going to come down to the C. So I'm going to focus on the white notes I'm going to hit when I'm improvising, right? It's going to be the C, and it's also going to be these two notes, right? F and G. And of course, the previous key, right? Knowing the order of the previous key. And I'll show you a little trick here to find the order. You just count up in fourths, right? We go count up. So if we start on C, right? And we can go either a fourth up, right? So you should know all this by now around the circle of fifths, right? Right? So you just look at a fourths to say it. So and you can visualize it in your head too, you know. So if you want to learn the order, which you need to do, is very useful. So you go C, F, B flat, E flat, A flat, D flat, and G flat, right? And I was looking at the notes and counting in my head, and then you can just remember it with muscle memory, you know. But it's better to not try to remember it with muscle memory because that fails you. You're better off just closing your eyes and just looking at C, F, and this helps you a lot when you do things like this, right? When you stop relying on muscle memory, and so C, F, and we got B flat, we got E flat, and I'm just going up in fourth. So we got, where are we? E flat, we got A flat, we got D flat, we got G flat, right? So we start with C, F, and so this is the order around the circle, fifth ascending clockwise, right? B flat, E flat, A flat. See, it's going up in fourths. There's the fourth, right? D flat and G flat, right? It's just going up in fourths. All right, let's continue. Move on. Okay, let's get stuck into the right-hand finger placement. Okay, so this is a nice one, right? So we've seen all this before again. Again, we're going to focus on the ring, the middle going up. Okay. So the first finger is going to be R, ring, index 1. So we're going to start on the 1, and we're going to. Now, going up, we're going to go first middle. So again, with the right hand, the middle finger is associated with the two black notes, right? And we ring, and the ring finger is associated with the 3 black notes. So that's another memory association you can make. So middle, ring, went to there, middle, and finish up the scale. And then middle, because 2 black notes, right? Ring, middle. Okay, and that's how we're going to do that one. So I'm not explaining the swing points now and all that because you've seen that in the previous videos, right? And I think the time you've come to A flat, you would have started on a lower video anyway. So let's just move pretty fast through this. Okay. So with the left hand, you can see this hand placement works on E flat, A flat, and D flat. So we're just looking at the A flat. So again, we're going to concentrate on that ring, middle ring. So now we're on the ring. The ring finger is associated with the 2 black notes. So this is a bit different than the other ones, is the 2 black notes, and the middle finger is associated with the 3 black notes. We have to start on the ring up here so we can clean up all these notes so we can swing over to our third middle finger, right? Middle finger on the 1, and we got to clean up to that C note there, and we've got to swing. That's why we have the middle there. So, but again, we focus. Ring, middle, ring. Ring. Middle. Ring. Ring. Middle. Ring. And back. Okay. So let's move on. So finger mobility, right hand. So again, this is just where we practice it. We're going to note our intervals to 2. There's the 2, right? 3. Middle. Ring. Middle. Ring. Middle. Ring. Middle. So it's middle, ring, middle, middle going up, and middle, ring, middle coming down as well. And we just practice that. And we can also go, just note the 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, 5, 4, 2, 1. Now, sometimes it's good just to practice like this, just go up until you get this comfortable with your fingers. And this allows you to break muscle memory when you do this. And we're going to be doing this exercise as well. Middle. Whenever you get stuck and you're coming down, right? So we're gonna look and say right, middle, 1, right? On the high. So we're looking from the right coming down. And we're going to go middle first, right? So we're going to practice this bit. So we're going to start up here and practice this bit. So we're going to try to break our muscle memory, and we're going to commit muscle memory till later. We just want to get used to being able to know where our fingers go. And this is going to help you tremendously when we're learning songs and to build up finger mobility, not just to play scales up and down, because that's really boring too. So it's more exciting to start to think about melodies, because that's what we'll be playing and that's what you'll be composing in the future. Okay, so we're just going to play, we're going to be doing that exercise, but we'll be playing this outright, and that's too fast. We need to hear it as well. About that speed. All right, let's move on. Again, with the left hand, you're just going to practice the left hand, right? And you're going to say it too. Make sure you say it for the first few days until you get really comfortable with it, right? And we're going up, ring, middle, ring. And the ring's associated with the 2 black notes, the middle's with the 3 black notes. So ring, middle, ring, ring, middle, ring. Okay? So knowing where they're associated with, that really helps too, to remember the scale. But we ring, middle, ring, and just remember ring, right? Ring associated with 2 black notes, right? So we're making 2 memory associations here, and that helps your memory. Whenever you want to remember something, the more memory associations, not necessarily the more the better. You usually need about 2 of them or 3. If you can make at least 2, associate something with something else. This applies to anything you're trying to remember. It makes it easy to remember. All right? So it's like when you're trying to remember somebody's name. If you associate it to that name to, say, someone in the past that you knew. So, hi, John, how's it to meet you? Have I ever known a John? I used to know a John in high school. And that process of remembering something else, then you won't forget his name. Right, so always memory associations, and we do this a lot in the Akousunesis method. We strongly focus on creating a lot of memory associations to help us when we're trying to remember songs. Right. Anyway, let's move on with that. All right, both hands, muscle memory. My daughter drew that image, and it means we're killing with this exercise, we're killing multiple birds with one stone. So we're not just learning in muscle memory, we'll be able to learn in a way where we'll be able to utilise it in when we're composing songs. With our memorisation, helps us with memorisation. There's a lot going on here. Now, the first thing before we join, we're going to look, and we're going to go left, right, left, right, left, right. So we'll concentrate left side, then the right side. Then we're going to note ring, middle, middle, ring, ring, middle. But the way we're going to note this is we're going to put a bit of a rhythm to it and note how quickly they come. So we're going to go, it's going to be right then middle, right? So right then middle. Then it's going to be middle then right, and then right. So I'll show you what I mean. And it's going to be with these two notes, they're going to be the next notes. So we start on the middle here, right? Middle finger on one, and then the index on one, right? Now the first place is going to be the left ring, right? And then straight away the middle comes, middle on the right, right? And then we come down, right? And then there's a middle here. But let's go back here, like that. Ring, middle, middle, ring. So ring, middle for going when we go up, and when we come back down the scale, it's going to be middle ring. So it's going to go up like that. Coming down, it's going to be middle ring, and we're going to finish the scale. Ring, middle, ring. Ring, middle. Middle ring, middle ring, middle ring, middle ring, middle. And then when we're coming up here, it's going to be middle on the left, because we've got to get to the C, right? And then we do our ring. So middle on the left, and then ring on the right. And you see how it's going to come straight away? So middle ring, ring, middle, middle ring. So that's middle ring, but here it's middle ring this way. Middle ring, ring, middle ring coming up there. So it's almost like we're grouping them together, and we want to put a rhythm to it, because when we put a little bit of a rhythm to it, it helps us remember it too and what we're doing. So we'll go back to here. Ring. Remember, we've got to land on the ring, see? So that's a thing that happens sometimes when you're learning, right? You've got to put your third finger there, right? You forget. So that's why we've got to remember where we're landing, right? That's the point of remembering our landing and swing points. Ring, middle, middle ring, middle ring, ring, middle. Again, ring, middle, and then we clean up. Middle ring, ring, middle, ring, middle ring. So you get that? So it's we're left, it's ring, middle, ring, middle. Yeah, so it's flipping. So we start ring, middle, ring, middle, and coming down it's middle ring, middle ring. And because we can remember that what it's doing, we can remember it's going middle ring, then ring, middle. We remember that in our head now as a memory association, that it's flipping when we're coming down, okay? And we can practice like that. Ring, middle. We remember the ring, middle. Ring, middle, ring, middle. Ring, middle. Now we've just got to get used to one of the things, right, is it's not that, a lot of the times it's not that your fingers just can't do it. That's one thing. Your fingers need to get there. So if you're doing this for the first time, this scale, your fingers need to work it, right? Be mobile, right? But if you don't know where they're going, right, if you don't know in your head beforehand, and you're just going to try to do it and rely on your muscle memory, it's going to take a bit longer to work it all out. If you ever work it out, you'll probably give up. No, I'm not going to say you probably give up, but, you know, a lot of students will go, oh, fuck this, and walk away, you know. But because it is tricky. But if you can put memory associations to it, it's going to make learning songs and much easier, and you'll get better at it and better at it and better at it. So, all right, so we're going to start again. Ring, middle, ring, right? Middle ring. And if you remember middle ring, and it's going to be left, then right, and have a look there. It's left and right, left and right. Okay? So, ring, middle, left and right, middle, ring, middle. Now we don't have a nice thumb thing like we did in the other, like we both finish on our thumbs like a rest point. So that makes this a little bit trickier. You know, I've got index there and my thumb's there. And then my index is here and my thumb's here. So the other ones we had 2 thumb rest points, and that was a nice rest because we could do this and it was a rest. This is a little tricky. So that's how we have to ring, middle, then middle ring. Middle, middle ring, middle ring, middle ring. And when you're getting mixed up where you've got to remember middle ring, middle ring, ring middle, middle ring, ring middle, middle ring. Okay? So it's like we're grouping them together and we're trying to put some rhythm on it. Okay? So I think I've covered that on how to go about doing that. And did I have a muscle memory one? Oh, that was bringing both hands together, but it doesn't matter. And then once we do that, we can start doing it with muscle memory and just allowing the muscle memory to take over, okay? So you still want to play it with the muscle memory at the end. But what will happen is if you learn it with muscle memory and without this approach, if you come back in 6 months and try to play it again, you'll have difficulty, right? Because your muscle memory is not reliable. It's just not reliable. So you need backups, and the backup is knowing how to do it. And you'll find that in your brain, because you've gone through this process, right? And it is harder. It's harder to do it all. Playing piano is hard. It's not easy. But if you go through the process, it becomes easier and easier and easier. Right? So, and you'll find that when you come back and you've done it this way, it'll click in your head, and you'll learn it much quicker. And as soon as you play it, the muscle memory starts to kick in and fill out. See, what happens is, right, if you're just relying, and this is a really, really good tip I'm just about to say, right, I'm going to put this in a moment. If you're just relying on muscle memory, right, and as soon as you start playing and you make a mistake, right, now what's happened is your brain has learnt to make that mistake. You're trying to remember with muscle memory, right? So, and you've got no other associations, and you come back in 6 months and you try to play it again, and you've made a mistake. You're now making it harder for yourself to remember that again, because you've now remembered that mistake, and your brain's going, oh, it's logged that in your brain. Oh, I've done a mistake. And then when you try it again, and you do another mistake, and it's logged that in your brain, right? But when you have other associations to remember, that you can, before you even start playing it, and you come and you remember, I remember Nick told me that we're going to do it's a rhythm, and we're going to go when we come here, and even before you play it, ring middle. Oh, that's right, ring middle, then middle ring, and then ring middle. Oh, that's right. And you're creating these memory associations for yourself, right? That's one of the reasons why muscle memory, if you're just relying on it, is problematic, right? If you play it over and over and over, right, it eventually becomes natural and your fingers just do it, sure. But then that's all you can do, right? You can just play that song, and you can't improvise, you can't do anything else. So you want to learn by thinking, and that's what this whole approach is. It's understanding, listening first, but understanding what you're doing, and then playing it. Anyway, I think that was a very good tip. Ear harmonisation. So again, with this one, we've seen all this before, so I'm just going to go through this quickly, where we hold down E flat. So we're not holding the pedal, we're just listening. So it's like playing a melody over a chord, right? So I'm just going to fly through this because we've seen this before, all right? E tonalities when we hold down the shift. And if you haven't seen this before, just watch a few of the other so there's 12 videos in this series of all the keys. Just go watch a few of the others. Right, so that's E tonality. We're getting to listen to the key. This will come naturally in time. Interval trainings are very important. So this is where we're listening and we're noting in our head. That's a second. 1, 3, 2, 3. But we'll say it in our head, so because we want to hear the sound and we want to go a bit slower. So each time we just hold, we press the A flat all the time, and we're listening. There's a fourth, fifth, 2, 4, 5, 2, 4, 5, and we can do that as well. Okay, So we can jump a bit, so we're not relying on the serial memory now. We want to be able to jump, because we're getting to a point where we want to be able to look and find these intervals instantly. And after I finish these 2 more videos coming after this for the keys, I'm going to get into, I think the next video I'll do is finding all the power chords instantly on the piano. And it's very, very easy. You'll be blown away with how easy it is to find all your power chords, right? So that's coming. That's coming the next third video. And after that one, we're going to do all the chords. You'll be able to, the next video will be able to, I might have to throw in after the power chords is just an introduction to chords, so we'll learn a bit about the theory of how you make chords, and then the next video will be how to instantly create in real time all the chords. Right? So great stuff coming up. Okay, melody training. Okay, so you've seen all this before, so I'm not going to go right into it now. Well, I will a little bit, okay, because in case you're new to this video, I'll go into it. So we have constraints. Constraints are there to focus our attention on what we're trying to learn. And when you're limited, when you have limitations, you become more creative and you get to think more and you learn what you're doing. So the limitations here, we're going to just practice a melody. We're going to keep the same finger numbers, right? Because we're still practicing the finger numbers for the scale, right? Now we're just going to hold down the left hand, so we're not going to do anything with the left. And we're just going to muck around with the right hand. But you can play the left, you can just hit the note, the E flat. Right? And we're just making up melodies. And you can play the same note twice. Right? Now we're going to drop a constraint to free it up a little bit. And we can skip notes, but we still have to be on the same fingers. So we can go. Right, so just making up melodies, right? So we can skip notes. So what we're doing here too is getting used to these fingers moving. So we're breaking it up so we don't just remember it all in serial fashion. Okay, because we can learn it in a serial fashion, and that's great, but that just helps you to play it in a serial fashion. That's all it does. It doesn't do anything else, and our songs aren't always going to do this. Our songs are going to, see, I'm skipping a note there now. Right, so we're practicing this, and we're going to just do the same, and we're going to go up 2 octaves. Okay, but we're still in the same fingers, but we can skip notes, right? Now we're going to free it up to song training, where again we're just playing E flat on the left. So we're only on one chord, right? So we're on the E flat. We'll be on E flat chord, but we're not going to play the third down low. It's just E flat. And now we can do anything. Well, we're not going to start doing chords yet, not that advanced yet, but you will be. And we're going to be doing that very, very soon too. Now you can use any finger numbers, any fingers you want here, whatever's comfortable. So we're just mucking around with melodies. Take it a little slower too sometimes. Because we do still want to listen to all those intervals and that and understand what we're doing. And also note what you're doing as well. So note that we're on A flat, right? That's the third. There's the fifth. There's the third. Fifth. There's the second and there's the fourth. 3 and 2 and 1. So we're at the beginnings of starting to create our own music, but we've got to practice making up melodies, right? And you'll find the more you do, the more ideas that happen, the more your fingers flow and the more things you'll discover. I haven't had any questions lately, so I'm just going to skip the questions and answers for now. Okay, I've got the same. I haven't changed this. It's the same from the previous video. I'm not even sure if I've actually answered this question. I've got to check my video. I keep on forgetting to check. I might as well answer this question now, just in case I haven't answered it. I think I have anyway. What is a mode? Thanks, Tony. I think I have answered this. Yeah, I have answered this. I think it was in 3 or 4 lessons ago, but we're going to get into modes anyway, so we're going to leave this. Anyway, that's it. Next lesson, 14. So we just got 2 more. We've got D flat and G flat, and that's it for this series. And they will sit there as a reference. Okay, so off you go. See you later. Bye.